Assalamu alaikum students. So today our topic is about an assessment of Pakistan's urban policies from 1947 to 1977. Here we will look the 50 years urban policies of Pakistan, and in this we will see the what is public policy program have to be followed in detail with maintaining urban crisis in Pakistan over the past 50 years. This question has been addressed in this lecture, and Pakistan's urban policy fall in three distinct phases. First is corresponding to evolving political and economic regimes, yet they shows a fundamental continuity in that they have been driven by plots and public works strategies. Pakistan has not been lacking in up-to-date policies and programs. Its urban policies have resulted in notable achievements and various failures. This lecture is about to assess both the achievement and shortfalls and identifies private interests that have benefited at the cost of public welfare. So let us start with the introduction. Pakistan, like most third world country, is beset by the urban problems, namely acute shortage of houses, huge shortfalls in the provision of water supply, sewers, drainage, water disposal, traffic management, electricity, transport, population control, congested and spread out cities, ill-managed land market and inefficient land use system, and wide social disparities in the quality of life of poor and the rich, etc. So widespread spread and instance are these problems that the term urban crisis is applied to the overall phenomena. Pakistan has all the component of an urban crisis. This fact need little elaboration or affirmation. So this lecture is about by assuming that Pakistan's urban problems are apparently and they have multiplied exponentially over time. So in this lecture we will address the question as to what has to be done by way of public policies and programs to respond to the urban problems, and how effective as well as relevant have been these measures. This lecture is all over purpose, this is basically all over purpose of this lecture. So let us look on the objectives and the aims of this urban policies in Pakistan. Especially this lecture is aimed at describing and analyzing Pakistan's urban policies as they have evolved over the past 50 years, assessing two things. First is assessing outcome of these policies in the term of their stated and implicated policy goals, and the third is determining who has benefited from these policies and on whose sufferance. A large part of urban problem arises from inadequacy and inequity in the provision of public goals, community services and facilities. Therefore, urban policies are often assessed by criteria of relevance and effectiveness of various measures from our community welfare perspective. So these will be also be our guiding criteria. All in all, the overall lectures offer a planner's perspective in planning as well as judging the impact of urban policies on the living condition in Pakistan's countries. So in the next we will see the domain of urban policy, urbanization and urbanism in Pakistan. So let us look in the next thing, that is the domain of urban policy. Urban policy refers to federal, provincial, and local government act both of commission and omission that affect the spatial structure, administrative and economic institutions, and quality of life in urban areas through the provisions of housing, infrastructure, land development, and regulation of uses, transport, and community services. Sometimes a distinction is made between urban policy and urbanization policies, the latter referring to matter of distribution of population and economic activities in settlement of varying sizes in the national space. So, through Richardson refers to these policies as urban policy, yet the distinction between urbanization policy aimed at the reorganization of national settlement system and the urban policies as tool of guiding and framing the internal structure of human settlements in relevant. My focus largely is on the latter of set of issues. It may be noted that not all elements of urban policies are deliberately and planned. Policy literature recognize indirect and market mediated effect of policy decision as policy element. In sum, my focus is on what the state did and did not do to address urban problem in Pakistan. Here is the urbanization and urbanism in Pakistan. The concentration of population in cities and towns is called urbanization. It is to be distinguished from urban ways of life, which is called urbanism. While urbanization is increased at a twice or thrice the rate of the population growth, urbanization is spreading at a still fast rate, extending to all parts of the global. Abu Ligud has called the spread of urban ways of life as the urbanization of everybody. Pakistan is undoubtedly rapidly urbanizing, but urbanism is spreading even more quickly, thereby transforming the country's social structure as well as the settlement system. About 1/3 of Pakistan's population live in urban area, namely metropolitan corporation cities, notified towns, and municipalities. The level of urbanization has increased from about 18% in 1951 to 32% in 1991. So the Pakistan rate of urbanization has ranged between 4.9 to 6.5% per year over the past 40 years. Between 1951 to 1991, the total population increased to 36%, whereas the urban population increased by 49.5%. So the rapid urbanization has produced two mega cities, Karachi, estimated to be 8 to 10 million, and Lahore, about 5 million, and 6 cities of 1 million and more population, and 20 to 25 towns approaching the 1/4 to half a million mark. This is the story of urbanization. Here is urbanism has pretended father. Rural part of 10 districts in Punjab have reached the density threshold for urban system. They have a population density of 400% per kilometer or more the benchmark for defining urban areas. These brands of sprawled out settlement have been variously called Descota, urban and rural, urban and rural police. there are visible to any travelers on major road and rail lines. From Lahore to Gujarat and Sialkot, roads and rail tracks are lined with houses, workshops, factories, and farms. The same is the case with Sargodha and Faisalabad, Peshawar to Nowshera, and Karachi to Hyderabad. In these areas, open country and wilderness have almost disappeared, and roads or rail lines have turned into main street, complete with open sewer, garbage heaps, stores, homes, and factories. Municipal services and organization have become as necessary for these areas of the cities. So here are the policy making structure. The Pakistan government has been a pioneer in initiating urban policies. Since the beginning of development planning in the 1950s, housing and settlement has been a distinct sector of 5 years plan, though the little change to physical planning and housing. The federal government has been the primary actor in urban policy through its 5 years plan, its financing of development, and as the primary conduit of foreign aids, as well as with its power to override provinces. At the federal level, Planning Commission prepares 5 years plans and oversees their implementation. The line ministries execute plans and programs. Since 1972, the Division of Environment and Urban Affairs (EUAD) has been established as a federal ministry. The provincial and local government have been essentially the executing agencies in development planning. The suspension of the constitution under military rule is two stretches adding to 22 years in 50 years of Pakistan's history has resulted in the centralization of public authority. The policy making for the housing and settlement sector, even though constitutionally a provincial subject, has been largely a federal activity. All 4 provinces have departments of housing and physical planning with slightly varying titles and ministries of local government. Local government is particularly have been weakened by long suspension and division to serve our electoral colleges for indirect election of president and assemblies. They have had no role in policy making. Therefore, my primary focus on federal initiatives is appropriate. I will of course point out significant local and provincial influences in discussion of specific cases where as relevant. Finally, it may be noted that public actions affecting the living condition in urban areas do not entirely originated from the human settlement sector. Most public policies and programs, be those fiscal and monetary measures, industrial development strategies, rural development projects, or prevention of education and health services, have a direct impact on urban life. These are what Mills calls non-urban policies as urban policies. Obviously, defining urban policies so broadly with despite the focus of this lecture, that urban policy literature has treated the other public initiatives as an urban systems environment and has concentrated on policy input directly targeted at land development, housing infrastructure, and urban administration. I will follow the same convention. The effect of non-urban policies on urban structure and quality of life will be taken into account as the condition of action. So, next is the Pakistan urban policy objectives and strategies that we will discuss in the next lecture, inshallah. So, we'll discuss more about the urbanization, the physical planning and housing sector, urban policies in 5 years plan, the strategies of urban development, and much more in the next lecture.